There are many different types of videos I do on this channel, but none give me half as much joy to watch back than this one. Welcome to the one and only 2024 Bookshelf Tour video! Let's go! Yes, hello and welcome to the 2025 Bookshelf Tour video. Normally I do these twice a year. I didn't do it in July. I'm going to try and keep this intro as brief as I possibly can, but I want to give you a quick overview of the bookshelf as it is now. Even though this is the introduction, it is post me doing the tour, so this is how they are going to stay. Okay, so this is bookshelf 1, and at the top we have my Minalimas and Famous 5 classics. That continues on into the next row. The first cube is classics. Then we have some cozies, and then in the next row we have some cozies followed by Harry Potter. Then going further down, we have my current TBR, ignore the books next to Rhythm of War, we'll talk about them soon. To the left of Rhythm of War, we have my horror section. Below Rhythm of War, we have my sci-fi section. That continues on into the right with the last two sci-fi books. Then we have some mysteries and some thrillers. Bookshelf 2 starts off with Cozy Lot of Books 1, A Cozy Lot of Books 2. Then we have my dystopians and a couple of romances. Then we have some LGBTIQ+, and some memoirs, and a select number of fantasies. Bookshelf number 3, we have Amanda Flower Cozy Mysteries, then Hayley Powell Cozy Mysteries, and a couple of others. Then we have the Coffee House Mystery Series, Cozy Mysteries, more LGBTIQ+, some fantasy, and Cosmere. These videos are always a joy for me to watch back, but they take forever to film. This one took me, no joke, 6 hours to film for this maybe 40-minute video. So if you can, please do leave a like on this video. I don't normally ask, but I do with these ones because they take a very long time to do. But you are going to now see every single book that I have in my bookshelves. Are you ready? Let's go past Mr. Francy in 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, let's begin. Starting off with my Cozy Mysteries with the exception of this first red book. This is an amazing edition of Winnie the Pooh by A. Milne. It's a collection, the complete collection of stories and poems. So, there you go. I literally use it as a bookend, so that's why it's right there. But now let's get on to my cozies, starting off with the Coffee House Mystery Series by Cleo Coyle. On What Grounds? Through the Grinder, Latte Trouble, Murder Most Frothy, Decaffeinated Corpse, French Pressed, Espresso Shot, Holiday Grind, Roast Mortem, Murder by Mocha. The only hardcover I have in this series is A Brew to Kill, and it's literally because the hardcover was cheaper than the paperback. Explain that one to me. And Holiday Buzz. The first 12 books in the Coffee House Mystery Series by Cleo Coyle. On to the Cider Shop Mystery Series, Apple Cider Slaying, Pulp Friction, and The Cider Shop Rules, all by Julie Ann Lindsay. Death in Castle Dark by Veronica Bond. Arguably one of the most cozy mysteries I've ever read, and that is A +1 for Murder and A Perilous Pal, the first 2 books in the Friend for Hire duology by Laura Bradford. And Laura Bradford, we need more! Just had to say that. On to my Hayley Powell Food and Cocktail Cozy Mystery series. Death of a Kitchen Diva, Death of a Country Fried Redneck, Death of a Coupon Clipper, Death of a Chocoholic, Death of a Christmas Caterer, Death of a Cupcake Queen, Death of a Bacon Heiress, Death of a Pumpkin Carver, Death of a Lobster Lover, Death of a Cookbook Author, Death of a Wedding Cake Baker, Death of a Blueberry Tart, Death of a Wicked Witch, Death of an Ice Cream Scooper, Death of an Italian Chef, Death of a Clam Digger, and Death of a Gingerbread Man. The first 17 books in the Hayley Powell Food and Cocktail Mystery Series by duo authors Lee and Hollis. On to my Amanda Flower favourites, starting off with the Magical Bookshop Mystery Series, Crime and Poetry, Pros and Cons, Murders and Metaphors, Verse and Vengeance, and Crime and Covers. On to the OK Amish Matchmaker Series, Matchmaking Can Be Murder, Courting Can Be Killer, Marriage Can Be Mischief, Honeymoons Can Be Hazardous, and the latest release so far, Dating Can Be Deadly. Again, this is the Amish Matchmaker series by Amanda Flower. On to the Amish Candy Shop series. Just a warning, I don't have Gingerbread Danger yet, but it's on its way. Amish Candy Shop Holidays, a compendium of novellas for the series. Assaulted Caramel, Lethal Licorice, Premeditated Peppermint, Toxic Toffee, Marshmallow Malice, Lemon Drop Dead, Peanut Butter Panic, and Blueberry Blunder, the first 8 books in the Amish Candy Shop Cozy Mystery Series by Amanda Flower, and of course Amish Candy Shop Holidays being the bind-up of the novellas. And the Amazing Piper and Porter series, I wish we had more. Dead End Detective and Frozen Detective, the 2 books in the Piper and Porter series by Amanda Flower. On to the Secrets and Scrabble Cozy Mystery Series, Murder at Pirates Cove, Secret at Skull House, The Beautiful Mystery at the Masquerade, Scandal at the Salty Dog, Body at Buccaneers Bay, Lament at Loon Landing, Death at the Deep Dive, and Corpse at the Captain's Seat, and they're all by Josh Lanyon. Alright, here we are, Camper and Criminals. Beaches, Bungalows and Burglaries, Deserts, Driving and Derelicts, Forests, Fishing and Forgery, Christmas, Criminals and Campers, Motorhomes, Maps and Murder, Canyons, Caravans and Cadavers, Hitches, Hideouts and Homicide, Assailants, Asphalt and Alibis, Valleys, Vehicles and Victims, Sunsets, Sabbatical and Scandal, Tents, Trails and Turmoil, Kickbacks, Kayaks and Kidnapping, Gear, Grills and Guns, Eggnog, Extortion and Evergreens, Ropes, Riddles and Robberies, Paddlers, Promises and Poison, Insects, IB and Investigations, Outdoors, Ords and Oaths, Wildlife, Warrants and Weapons, Blossoms, Barbecue and Blackmail, Lanterns, Lakes and Larceny, Jackets, Jack-o'-lantern and Justice, Santa, Surprises and Suspicions, Vistas, Vices and Valentines, Adventure, Abduction and Arrest, Rangers, RVs and Revenge, Campfires, Courage and Convicts, Trapping, Turkeys and Thanksgiving, Gifts, Glamping and Glocks, Zoning, Zealots and Ziplines, Hammocks, Handguns and Hearsay, Questions, Quarrels and Quandary, Witness, Woods and Wedding, Elves, Evergreens and Evidence, Moonlight, Marshmallows and Manslaughter, and the 2 I'm reading this month in December but haven't read yet, Bonfires, Backpacks and Brawls, and Fireworks, Freedom and Felonies. Whew, that was a lot to get through. These are the first 37 books in the Camper and Criminals series by Tonya Kappas. On the shelf where these books are, I also have 2 more books, which are Up to No Gouda by Linda Riley and Flipped for Murder by Maddie Day. Both of these books are going to feature in my SAS list videos for 2025, so check that out, coming out soon. Next up, we have some Amanda Flower books that I don't necessarily love and will probably be unhauling soon. Flowers and Foul Play, and Death and Daisies. The first 2 books in the Magic Garden Mystery Series, I have read book number 3, but it is incredibly expensive, so I did not purchase it. Farm to Trouble, In Farm's Way, and Put Out to Pasture, the first 3 books in the Farm to Table Cozy Mystery series. I have not read book 4, Crime in Cherry Pits, and don't plan to. On to the Witching Flower series, and the only reason I only have 7 books in this series is because the physical books stop after 7 books. I wish there were more available in physical. And yes, this is a Meow Meow edition. So, starting off with book number 1, The Witching Flower. Meow Meow. Double Double Tart and Trouble. Meow Meow. A Baker's Coven. Meow Meow. With a Chai on Top. Meow Meow. Icing on the Curse. Meow Meow. Bread and Bewitching. Meow Meow. And Proof is in the Potion. Meow Meow. These are all by Samantha Silver, and once again, just to clarify, none of the rest of the books in this series are available in physical. They are available in ebook and audio, but not physical, which is unfortunate. I wish they were. And now on to the Poppy McAllister Cozy Mystery series. I do not have Silent Nights Are Murder yet, but I am definitely going to be reading it, I think in February of 2025. Class Reunions Are Murder. Just very quickly, I would advise a lot of people to skip book 1 and move directly to book number 2. If you've read book 1 and don't like book 1, try book 2, because book 2 is significantly better. Midnight Snacks Are Murder. Restaurant Weeks Are Murder. Theatre Nights Are Murder. Wine Tastings Are Murder. Beauty Expos Are Murder. Antique Auctions Are Murder. And Mischief Nights Are Murder. Again, to just quickly reiterate, I am going to be reading Silent Nights Are Murder, but I'm going to be reading it in February because the audiobook is not out yet, and I also love listening to the audiobook. On to my dystopians. Starting off with the Divergent series. Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, and the Amazing Tobias Perspective 4. These are the 4 books in the Divergent Dystopian series by Veronica Roth. Oh, by the way, the editions of these ones, people ask me often. Catherine Tegan Books. Just want to quickly make the point about this series. It has amazing world building. So if you're someone who loves great world building, I highly recommend it. Next up, we enter the Don't Be Fooled by the Pretty Little Covers, definitely dystopian series. The Selection, The Elite, The One, The Heir, and The Crown. An incredible dystopian series by Kiera Cass. More from Cass then. The Betrothed series, The Betrothed, and The Betrayed. And even though it's a fantasy, I like to keep my Cass books together. The beautiful cover of The Siren. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've read all 3 books in this series, but I only kept book number 1. Likewise with the Arc of a Scythe series by Neil Shusterman, or Schusterman, depending on how you say it. Book 1, Scythe. Book 2, Thunderhead. I unhauled book 3, The Toll. On to my limited male-female romance collection. A lot of these books are actually going to be unhauled at the end of the year. Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, and Love and Olives, the 3 books from the Love and Gelato universe, all by Jenna Evans Welch. This one's not going anywhere. Dashing Through the Snow by Debbie May Comber has too many good memories for me. And a selection of Casey West books. Lucky in Love, Listen to Your Heart, P.S. I Like You, The Distance Between Us, and By Your Side. Even though some of these are actually considered romance, I more look upon them as contemporaries. Some of them are even hard-hitting contemporaries. I still need to update this edition. It's been nearly 6 years. I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. I want the US edition! Call It What You Want by Bridget Kemmerer. Highly recommend Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer, as well as More Than We Can Tell. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. The incredible literary fiction that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I should read more of her works. and the gorgeous cover of this historical fiction, The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. Male fictional books mean the world to me, and representing them on my channel also mean a lot to me. Let's take a look at all the male books that I own. Starting off with Adam Silvera. More Happy Than Not, History Is All You Left Me, The First to Die at the End, and They Both Die at the End. Highly recommend Adam Silvera for amazing hard-hitting contemporaries. On to my Timothy Janowski collection. Never Been Kissed, You're a Mean One Matthew Prince, and New Adult. Absolutely also highly recommend Timothy Janowski for hard-hitting male contemporaries. Adam Silvera started it all for me, there's no denying that, but oh my goodness do I have a special place in my heart for Mr. Phil Stamper. Here we go. The Gravity of Us, As Far As You'll Take Me, Eli Over Easy, Small Town Pride, Golden Boys, and Afterglow. These are amazing YA. These are amazing middle grade. Absolutely love Phil Stamper. Highly recommend Phil Stamper. On to the vampire-related crime series. How to Vex a Vampire, How to Elude a Vampire, How to Lure a Hunter, How to Save a Human, and How to Defy a Vampire, and I will be reading more Alice Winters in 2025. On to the Housemates series by Jay Northcote, Helping Hand, Like a Lover, Practice Makes Perfect, Watching and Wanting, Starting from Scratch, and Pretty in Pink. Again, these are books from a series called the Housemates series by Jay Northcote, and I will be reading more Jay Northcote in 2025. Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli, The Foxhole Court, The Raven King, and The King's Men, the first 3 books in the All for the Game trilogy by Nora Sakovic. Actually, quick correction, I think a 4th one has now come out. I don't plan to continue on with the series at this stage. I'm not saying it's a bad series, not at all. I just have so many other male books I want to read. Captive Prince, Prince's Gambit, and King's Rising. All of these books are part of the Captive Prince trilogy. I don't believe there's more than 3. But if there are, correct me in the comments, and they're all by C.S. Picard. How It All Blew Up by Arvan Ahmadi, Date Me Bryson Keller, and Nate Plus One Standalones by Kevin Van Wy, What If It's Us, and Here's to Us, the 2 books in the So Far duology by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, Conventionally Yours, and its sister book, Out of Character by Annabeth Albert, and Boyfriend Material, as well as Husband Material by Alexis Hall, the 2 books in the London Calling duology, and I would definitely love to read more in this series. Alrighty, while the plane is flying overhead, I just want to give you all an idea, just in the spirit of education, for those who don't see things behind the camera. I am now entering into my 3rd hour of filming this. So yeah, when I say it takes 3 hours, yep, we're on to hour 3. Let's keep going. We are now doing memoirs. Bridge Over Troubled Dreams by Delta Goodrem, Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, Helen Keller's Teacher by Margaret Davidson. Highly recommend Talking as Fast as I Can, as well as Have I Told You This Already, both by the wonderful Lauren Graham. Home, a memoir of my early years by, oh my gosh, my one true goddess, Dame Julie Andrews. I definitely need to read book 2, so if you want to buddy read her 2nd memoir with me, let me know, we'll do it. The Diva Rules by Michelle Visage. Behind the Voice by the incredibly talented Australian singer Anthony Kalia. And my goodness do I love this woman. Unbreakable by Yelena Dokic, as well as Fearless by Yelena Dokic. I recommend both. Just quick heads up, Unbreakable can be extremely triggering for some people. It involves domestic abuse. Fearless is how she turned her life around. I recommend both books, but just be mindful of the trigger warning for Unbreakable. On to my fantasy collection, starting off with the Zodiac Academy series, Origins of an Academy Bully, The Awakening as Told by the Boys, Ruthless Fae, The Reckoning, Shadow Princess, Cursed Fates, The Big A.S.S. Party. By the way, for those who haven't read this series and you're wondering why I'm not saying The Big Ass Party, it's because it is an acronym, A.S.S. It's funny that it happens to also spell ass, but it is A.S.S. Fated Throne, Heartless Sky, Sorrow and Starlight, Beyond the Veil, and Restless Stars. I think I'm missing one book about Seth, but I don't know if it's available as a physical copy, but otherwise, the beautiful editions of the entirety, including novellas series of the Zodiac Academy by, I didn't say the author's name, by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. On to the rest of my fantasy, and it would not be right to not start with this book. This is the first book I picked up on this channel. If you go back to my very first videos for the Mr. Francy Reads channel, this is the first one. Personal Demons by Lisa de Roches. It's a fantastic book I highly recommend. The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. You know, I'm good with unpopular opinions. I love this series. The Twilight Saga by Stephanie Meyer. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and the beautifully perfect love letter to Edward Cullen fans, Midnight Sun. Highly recommend. I love this series. You all can say what you want about Sparkle Sparkle, but I just get lost in this series. I can't be critical about it because I just get too lost in joy of how much I love it. They're all by Stephanie Meyer. The Quest Begins, which is book number 1 in the Seekers series by Erin Hunter. Gorgeous cover, by the way. I consider it a standalone. Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Highly recommend book 1. Then we'll leave it at that. The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainane. Sorry, I had to think there for a second. This is book number 1 in the School for Good and Evil series. I read it this year. I'm going to read the remainder in 2025. Absolutely loved it. And the Immortal series by Alison Noel. Evermore, Blue Moon, Shadowland, Dark Flame, Night Star, and Everlasting. All 6 books in the Immortal series by Alison Noel. Okay, before I go through my Brandon Sanderson Cosmere books, I just want to make a statement. I only have one UK edition book here. I did have other ones, but I did a nice little Christmas free giveaway thing to people in my area who wanted free books, and I want to upgrade to American editions anyway. So there are some books like Warbreaker and Elantris and Arcanum Unbounded, etc. that are not here in my collection at the moment, but I do plan to upgrade to the US edition of those. I had the UK ones. Alright, let's see what else I have. In timeline order of what I have, White Sand Volume 1, White Sand Volume 2, and White Sand Volume 3. All of these were incredibly hard for me to track down. Dynamite is the publisher. These are graphic novels, and I don't normally read graphic novels, but Sanderson has absolutely insisted that they are not only part of the Cosmere, but they are the first series in timeline order. Moving forward in timeline order, The Emperor's Soul, which is a standalone, and Mistborn Secret History, although you probably should read Mistborn Secret History after Hero of Ages. You ready for something special? Here we go. This is my favourite book of all time and means the world to me. Mistborn, The Final Empire, and this is the Tor edition. All of these are pretty much Tor publication except for the graphic novels. This has been my favourite book since I first read it in March of 2020 and hasn't changed. It's still my favourite book of all time. It says Mistborn on the cover, but the correct title is The Final Empire. Oh my goodness, I love this edition and you can't get it in Australia. I had to order all of these US ones from the US. The Well of Ascension and The Hero of Ages. The first 3 books in the Mistborn series and the 3 books of Mistborn Era 1. On to Mistborn Era 2, The Alloy of Law, Shadows of Self, and the Bands of Mourning. The Lost Metal is out, and I will be reading that next year, 2025, in a Brandon Sanderson buddy read I'm doing. Link to the Discord in the description. Anyway, these are the 3 books that I have so far of Mistborn Era 2, or if you're going through Mistborn as one series, it is numbers 4, 5, and 6. Want to read some books that also double as door stoppers? I'm totally kidding, because the books cost way too much and I would never wreck them that way, but that's how long all of them are. They're 1,000 pages or longer. This is Stormlight Archives. Book 1, The Way of Kings. Book 2, and my favourite in the series, Words of Radiance. Book 3, Oathbringer. Book 3.5, a really gorgeous novella called Dawn Shard. I did have Edge Dancer, but I had the UK edition of that, so that was one of the ones I gave away. This book, really, it doesn't look fantastic online, but in person, oh my gosh, it's a hardcover. Like, this is truly, for a novella, it's probably the best conditioned novella I have ever owned. Literally moving books out the way, because this one won't stand in front of the rest. Rhythm of War is book number 4 in the Stormlight Archives. Wind and Truth book number 5 has come out. I don't have it yet. I'm getting it for Christmas, and I'm so excited. Thank you, Mum. I am so excited to discuss this collection with you all, so just incredibly quickly, for the last couple of years I haven't had my entire Minna Lima collection of classics, but I now do. Minna Lima have released 9 classic books. I have all 9. I love them. They are gorgeous. Here we go. The Beauty and the Beast by Gabrielle Suzanne Bardot de Villeneuve. Snow White and Other Grimm Fairy Tales by, I believe, the Brothers Grimm. Yes, the Brothers Grimm. It's right there at the top. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. You know what, I take that back. The Little Mermaid and Other Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen. He is German, I think, or Danish, one of the two. Anyway, Hans Christian Andersen. And Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. This is my box set of The Famous Five by Enid Blyton. It is so hard putting these books back in. As you can see, the sides are a bit warped now because it's so hard to put them back in, so I'm not going to take them out. But I'll quickly tell you what the books are. 5 on a treasure island, 5 go adventuring again, 5 run away together, 5 go to Smuggler's Top, 5 go off in a caravan, 5 on Kirin Island again, 5 go off to camp, 5 get into trouble, 5 fall into adventure, 5 on a hike together, 5 have a wonderful time, 5 go down to the sea, 5 go to Mystery Moor, 5 have plenty of fun, 5 on a secret trail, 5 go to Billycock Hill, 5 get into a fix, 5 on Finiston Farm, 5 go to Demon's Rocks, 5 have a mystery to solve, and 5 are together again. I forgot to turn my aircon off, so if you heard that in the background, I'm so sorry. Let's continue. Okay, I need to give a special shout out to my dear friend Jane, without which I would not have experienced this book. Thank you, Jane. Lots of love. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. 5 stars. Highly recommend. You know how books exist that you know will become a classic, and the only reason they haven't is because they haven't been out for long enough? This is one of them. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. This is the book everyone needs to read. Trust me, you won't regret it. Anyone who's picked it up based on my recommendation tells me how much they love it. Everyone needs to read this book. It is so beautiful, and it is going to become a classic one day. I promise you it will. Not a classic, but a classic to me, A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson, the only self-help book I own, and it's all about returning to a place of love. To me, love is timeless. That is why that book is in my classics section. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. This is a Penguin Classics edition. Dutton Children's Books, Penguin's Young Readers Edition. Winnie the Pooh. and the House at Pooh Corner. And I know you all are going to say, but Mr. Francy, you have this one over here, so why do you need these two? I love these editions. I purchased these, I found them and purchased them. This one was purchased for me, and I'm allowed to have more than one edition. Let's move on. The stunningly beautiful Puffin House edition of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. As with Boy, Mole, Fox and Horse, this will become a classic. Just give it time. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I do recommend reading this, but do read up on the trigger warnings before jumping in just to make sure that it is the right book for you. But oh my gosh, this is a huge, amazing book. I cried at the end. I did. A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. I am so happy that I have this. This is the Disney picture book edition of Aladdin. Aladdin only exists in an omnibus called 1001 Arabian Nights. I did not want the omnibus, I just wanted Aladdin. And so this definitely works for me, and it's an absolute classic for me. Okay, some more cozy wozies. They were on my SAS list shelf, so that's why you didn't see them earlier. Starting off with the Millie Cruise Ship Cozy Mystery Series. Starboard Secrets, Portside Peril, Lethal Lobster, Deadly Deception, and Vanishing Vacationers, the first 5 books in the Millie Cruise Ship Cozy Mystery Series. On to arguably my favourite cozy mystery series of all time, the Christmas Tree Farm Mystery Series by Julianne Lindsay, who uses the pen name Jacqueline Frost for this series. 12 Slaves of Christmas, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, Slashing Through the Snow, and Stalking Around the Christmas Tree. I will be reading I'll Be Home for Mischief in January. On to my Harry Potter collection. These are the original UK editions. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. As we say hello to hour 4, let's jump into my horrors. Sam, Asbo, Final Winter and the Housemates, 12 Steps, Dark Ride, Escape, and The Picture Frame, all by Ian Robwright. Pet Sematary, which I mainly keep for the cover, and Misery by Stephen King, Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, Playground by Aaron Beauregard, A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and big shout out to C. Call Me Sar with Easy Money. On to my sci-fis, Steelheart, Firefight, and Okay, so my memory card filled up, so let's say that again. We have Steelheart, Firefight, and Calamity, the first 3 books in the Reckoners series by Brandon Sanderson. The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal, Game Changer by Neil Schusterman, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, Bot Wars by J.V. Cade, Skyward, Starsight, and Cytonic, the first 3 books in the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson. I will be reading Defiant, I believe in April of next year. Okay, on to some mysteries and the one thriller that I own. First to mysteries, Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library by Chris Grabenstein. I need to read more of these works, I just don't know when. The Dead Girls Detective Agency by Susie Cox. I love this cover so much. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. And my final standard mystery, Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessel. This is my only thriller. I highly recommend it. If you have read a lot of dud thrillers, pick up this book. Rachel Ryan, such an amazing author. The Woman Outside My Door. And now to the books on my December TBR. You've already seen the first 2, well, the first 4 actually. Dawn Shard by Brandon Sanderson, Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, Shiver by Ali Reynolds, I'm starting tomorrow at the time of recording, Bonfires, Backpacks and Brawls by Tonya Kappas, Fireworks, Freedom and Felonies by Tonya Kappas, The Third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop, Bits and Pieces by Whoopi Goldberg, and Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Mide. Oh wow. I missed 3 books. It kind of happens when you're filming for over 5 consistent hours. 3 more thrillers and then we're done. The Silent Patient and The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, as well as The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. And now we're officially done with the 2024 end-of-year bookshelf tour. And that is it. Those are all of the books that I currently have on my bookshelves. Okay, so stay tuned because there's a lot more to come. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, ding, so that you can be notified each and every time I do upload a video. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind, love one another, and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading! Bye everyone!